On guys, teacher Eli here, and today we have one more video class. So welcome, and let's join me into the homework correction and the ending of our lesson. So without further ado, let's get started. If you guys remember well, in our last week we were talking about honesty pays, the benefits from being honest, returning goods, being dishonest, when you have sometimes recognition, when you don't get recognition for being honest, the pros and cons, right? Well, guys, basically you had these exercises here: 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 to do it. So we're going to be correcting right now. I remember you guys that the exercise 5 was basically an exercise that instigated you guys to take a look at the text and choose three words or expressions you didn't know. Search for the grammatical class and also the meaning. So that's up to any one of you guys. Like, one is gonna have a different answer from the other, and for me I can't use that because I basically studied and knew all the words from the text. Well, so let's start correcting from exercise 6 ahead. Alright? So number 6, go back to the article and find the meaning of token and claimed. The word token actually means something that represents a feeling. I have a couple of tokens, guys. I have a couple of tokens. Oh, I don't have my token right here. It's too bad. But this is one token that I have, which I actually dove it into the Brava Beach Sea. And it's a very important token for me. Claimed, to state that you have the right to take something that belongs to you. For example, you say, "Oh, teacher, this ring light is mine." I say, no, I'm claiming this ring light. It means that this ring light belongs to me. Alright. The word deceptive, which is an adjective, and it seems to be one thing, but in fact is different. Alright? Displace is a verb which is a synonym of shows. Overpaid is an adjective. It's a person who is excessively paid for something. And acknowledgement is a noun that means the act of publicly thanking someone for meeting what they have done. So basically, when you have done something and I want to publicly thank you for that, I'm showing acknowledgement. One form of acknowledgement is to give somebody an honor, like a medal or a prize. For the number 8, we had to answer the questions below according to the text. Alright? Letter 8, read the example about Abraham Lincoln. Would you do the same as he did? And the suggestion, yes, I would walk back and return the money. Remember the guy who found the wallet with money on it and comes back and returns the money, or Abraham Lincoln, who remembered the guy gave him 1 penny more than should, and he came back to the store and returned the penny, right? For letter B, according to the examples, in being dishonest, do you consider yourself an honest person? Why or why not? According to the text, I am not an honest person because sometimes I don't tell my parents everything. That's a suggestion. Or you could say, yes, I am an honest person. I am an open book. Are the situations in which you would act differently and still be considered an honest person? The suggestion is basically, sure, not telling my parents everything is not being dishonest. I just keep I just like to keep my privacy. This is a great suggestion, actually. Reading the section, returned lost watch. Do you agree with the author's position? Would you feel bad about returning the watch if you knew it wouldn't be given back to its owner? I don't agree with the author. I returned the watch, so I'm honest. What the person does with it is not out of my business. Remember the situation, the guy returned the watch to the lost and found a place in the school, and the guy said that if they didn't find the owner, they would actually keep the watch to themselves, and this actually doesn't acknowledge being honest at all. Alright, and finally, to number 8, obviously the text points that some advantages of being honest. And what are they? Advantages are you feel good, and the disadvantages you don't always get a reward or recognition, so you are not always acknowledged for what you have done. Number 9, read the introduction to the text and underline one example of zero conditional and one of first conditional. Why did the author make use of these conditionals? Read the introduction of the text and underline the examples of zero and first conditional and why the author made use of these conditions. I'm going to explain to you guys right now. The zero conditional was used because it's generally used to represent things that always happen in a certain condition, while the first conditional is used basically to define an idea about a future scenario. Alright? In the number 10, in the sentence, I asked if no one claimed the watch, would I get it back? Why did the author use the second conditional? In this case, he used the second conditional because he was talking about a situation that may happen in the future, which is a hypothetical idea. That's the reason he uses would I get back, because he's unsure of the future event. Well, after reading the text, which you probably did at home, you had to answer some other questions. The last part of the text is called call to action. We can't expect to change other people, but we can change ourselves. Think of some ways in which you could improve so that you consider yourself more honest person. Well, guys, I think I could be a more honest person if I preferably spoke the truth, even when it may be not a good idea, and even when lying may seem to be a good idea. I think speaking the truth is always the most honest idea. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys have a different suggestion? Alright, this is not the only exercise you have to do after reading, because the writing connections are right here. In the article, Honest Space talks about the definitions of honesty and dishonesty and gives some examples. What was the author's intention when he wrote this article? Well, guys, you don't actually need to work in small groups because we're not at school at all. But let's take a look at this. Read the proverbs on page 23. They are about relationship, discretion, and work. So, do you guys remember the proverbs on page 23? Let me refresh your memory, guys. These ones right here. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Discretion is better part of valor. Great talkers are little doers, and idle brain is devil's workshop. And also discretion is worth a pound of wheat, and call spade a spade. Well, guys, those were the pronouns the book is mentioning, right? I would say that a friend in need is a friend indeed. Well, You're going to develop a campaign about its first content. First, write the definition to the concept. The exercise 3 you could have posted in the homework section right there in the previous lesson. If you did not, please do it and raise your grade a little bit. Let's proceed with our lesson, guys. So let's get on going. And well, obviously page 29 is part of the homework you could have posted. So the final part of our lesson today is gonna be about a review, real and unreal situations. Here is a list of factors you might consider when deciding on a place to spend your next vacation. Add your own ideas and then put them in order of importance for yourself. For example, if you think money is more important than most important factor, you're gonna put number 1 in the box next to it. So the options that you have, you're gonna number. So money, location, tour package, lots of tourists, few tourists, contact with nature, nightclubs, stars, and add 2 more. I'm gonna do them myself, saying that basically most important to me would be location, money, nightclubs, stars, contact with nature, few tourists, lots of tourists, tour package, and 2 more I would add would be practicity and convenience about the places I am going to. Alright, guys. So here's the thing. Decide a place we travel together, and this group exercises we're not going to be doing for obvious reasons. When we have local classes, we're going to be doing some exercises to basically get this content and cover all of this content. That's a promise, guys. Maybe not exactly this one, but as a general fact to englobe all the content we have been studying. All right. Well, guys, here we have some interesting examples because there is a problem. You won't be able to take many items with you, set the shirt and other stuff, right? Well, here are some examples of how can you recommend things in certain situations. For example, you should take sunblock, or if we don't take it, we will get seriously sunburned, or if you don't take a cell phone, I won't be able to talk to my parents and we need it. And here, down here, we have some expressions regarding to traveling: boots, passport, flashlight, backpack, guidebooks, waterproof jacket, tent, book, sleeping bag, charger, sunblock, bathing suit, towel, cell phone, flip-flops, suntan lotion, GPS, sunglasses, hat or cap, camera, sneakers, map, credit card, night clothes, and binoculars. I don't know why would you use a binocular on a trip, but anyway, right? Keep on going our review. Basically, what am I gonna do is I'm gonna read you guys this exercise. You're gonna pause the video for 5 to 10 minutes and then answer and come back to the video. All right, so let's go. Here is a list of future possibilities. Put in A if you think it is possible, and B if you think it's impossible, or possible in theory but won't happen. Rains next weekend. I think it's possible. You win the lottery. I think it's possible. You become the president of Brazil. That's impossible because I'm not into politics. Seagulls, it's possible. It's totally possible. Your neighbors make a lot of noise all night long. This is possible. Actually, it has already happened. You flunk 2 subjects at school. This is impossible because I don't go to school anymore. You have 3 wishes granted. It's possible. You have a dream about a plane crash the day before It's possible, guys. It's actually possible. I wouldn't like it to happen, but it's possible. You get stuck in an elevator, possible. You got on a bus and realize you have no money, possible. It had already happened to me. You guys mark what is and what isn't possible to you. Make questions about the sentences from the previous activity using either the first or second conditional clauses. For example, what will you do if it rains next weekend, or what would you do if you won the lottery? I have two suggestions there, and let's do about the others. So let's get going. So A and B is correct. So you become president of Brazil. So what would you do if you were the president of Brazil? This is my suggestion. You can do yours. That's letter C right here, right, guys? Yes. Yes. Letter D. How would you react if you saw a ghost? Okay. Letter E. Will you get stressed out if your neighbors make noise all night long? There's another question right there. Okay, letter F sounds funny. How would your parents punish you if you flunk at school? Letter G. If you could have 3 wishes granted, what would you ask for? Would you, letter G, H, oops, H, would you still fly if you dreamed about the airplane crash? I, letter I, what would you do if you got stuck in the elevator? That's the next one. And J, letter J. Okay, how would you pay for the bus ride if you didn't have money? So these are my suggestions. And now let's take a look here on exercise 2, on exercise 3. Ask and answer the question. I'm going to have to answer the questions, right? Letter A, what will you do if it rain next weekend? I will stay at home and watch some Netflix. What would you do if you won the lottery? I would help a bunch of people. And adopt a little girl. Let's go for C, D, and F. So let's answer these questions right here. What would you do if you were the president of Brazil? I would privatize some public banks like Caixa. That's what I would do. I would 100% privatize Caixa. I would sell Caixa. Let's use sell. Yeah. Hate Caixa. How would you recommend to solve ghosts? I would talk to it. You get stressed out if your neighbors make noise all night long. Yeah, I'd probably take some sleeping pills. All your parents, if you flunk at school, they ground me. Letter G, if you get through, what would you ask for? Let's check it out. I'd ask for Sokka's name ability. I'd ask for super strength. Oops, let me just correct it. Super strength. And I ask for eternal youth. That would be good for me though. That would be great actually. Wouldn't it be great, guys, to get 3 wishes guaranteed? Would you still find... Oh, I'd do it if I had to. What would you do if you got stuck in the elevator? I'd wait a bit. What would you pay for the... I'd pay with my friendship. So these are my possible answers, though. I hope you liked. You can answer the way you want. Now let's check it. Almost getting to the end here. And our reading connections before reading, basically we're going to have to read the title below and say our perspectives on it. What is eco-social tourism? And eco-social tourism, in my perspective, is when you travel somewhere and you get engaged to nature. Now we're going to read the text and put the paragraphs in the correct order. You guys are going to put the paragraphs in the correct order right there. But first, take a read at the text. Pause the video, read the text, and organize paragraphs. Have you guys paused the video? Have you guys organized the paragraphs? So first, let's check it out. If you guys have actually organized the paragraph in the correct order, and I'm gonna read it for you guys. What is ecotourism? Eco-social tourism. As you might know, tourism is one of the largest industries in the world. This suggests that people like to visit different places, have dinner in good restaurants, and rest in comfortable resorts. Everybody likes it, and we like it too. However, we believe that travel is much more than visiting famous monuments and taking beautiful pictures. In our opinion, tourism is the best opportunity to learn about the world that we live in and how to preserve its nature. It is the best way to have contact with different cultures, meet different people, and try to understand how they think. This is the concept of eco-social tourism. Alright, most of the tourists that travel to Brazil visit just a few destinations such as the Amazon and the Iguaçu Falls or the Carnival in Rio de Janeiro or Salvador. We agree that these are just wonderful places, but Brazil has much more to offer to foreign travelers. That is why we created Biosphere in Brazil, a tourism company focused on offering something more to foreign tourists than the usual packages to Brazil. Our products give you the opportunity to visit special destinations, learn about our incomparable nature, and meet our welcoming people with the comfort and safety you deserve. And finally, we invite you to join us in this magnificent journey. It will be an unforgettable experience. Oops. Here, guys, last part of the video for you, and we get the correction of this in our next class together with the beginning of Unity 5. So the last questions are about this text here, and you're gonna answer to me. Basically, now that the text is correct, in order to read it again and choose the sentence that expresses the main objective of the article's author. And when you were reading the text, did you have to stop because of unknown vocabulary? If you answer yes, which vocabulary didn't you know? I want to know in our next meeting, which will be live. And I'm also gonna ask you guys, if you could travel anywhere in Brazil, where would you like to go? Our next live class in the next Wednesday. I'm gonna be catching you guys next time. Later.